Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here with the brand new blue phone, the G91 Max. But out. Max, because of a lot of maximum things they pushed in it. Maximum screen size, maximum resolution. It's got a 6.8-inch display and it's running 1080p plus for your resolution. Unfortunately, it's only at 60 hertz. Maybe one day we'll get to the 90 hertz, 120 hertz territory. Not quite there yet with the blue phone, but also what's maxed out is the camera. It has a brand new 108 megapixel camera on the back, which is pretty incredible because this phone at introductory pricing of $150, if you told me that in the year 2022 we could get a 108 megapixel camera in a phone for as little as $150, I would tell you that you're crazy. But they've done it. 108 megapixel camera. That's a really big deal for Blue. And it's a really big deal for budget phones in general. So you get that. A lot of other things they maxed out. Kind of a theme here. You have the MediaTek Helio G95 processor. This is kind of an upgrade from the G90, G91 Pro, and the G90 Pro. They had the MediaTek Helio G90 and the 90T. This is the G95. So basically, it's a year newer processor than the G90, but they also bumped it up 25% in the GPU department, which makes it better for gameplay. So you can play Fortnite, which you could already do with the previous versions. You can do it a little bit better now with these. You can still play your PUBG, play your Call of Duty Mobile, and you get to do it on this big 6.8-inch canvas. Looks pretty nice. I do like what they've done here with the screen. 6.8 inches is pretty big. I mean, that's kind of how everything is going nowadays. You look at like the new Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, which is also releasing basically now. The official date's the 25th, but people have been getting those already. 6.8-inch screen. People like big phones, and when you need a big phone, you need other stuff like big cameras and big memory and all that other good stuff. 128 gigabytes of internal storage, expandable SD card slot up to 256, or you can throw 2 SIM cards in there to roll with the dual SIM configuration. Has a quad camera array on here. So you get the 108 megapixel camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera lens, so you can take your up close and personal National Geographic shots. I wish it was a 5 megapixel. Really, when it comes to the 2s, it's not my most favorite thing. They don't take as good a quality images. The 5s are pretty good. The 2s, it's nice to have it in there. It's better than not, but unless you have really good lighting, it's not quite stellar in the picture department, but it's there. And then you get a 5 megapixel ultra wide, which of course, yes, would also be nicer. They went really big with the 108. I wish they would have went a little bit bigger and given us at least an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 5 megapixel macro lens. But you get all three of those there, and then you get the depth sensor as well. So you can do your portrait shots, not artificial portrait shots. You get the real deal because that depth sensor uses both of the cameras in conjunction to give you good depth of field, and you allow for those really nice bokeh shots. So I like that. The camera setup on here is really good, especially with the selfie camera. You got a big 16 megapixel camera on the front. One thing the blue phones are always good at is selfies. So we know that one of the main things people like to do with phones nowadays is take selfies. This has been a thing for years, ever since basically Snapchat revolutionized the way we communicate with each other by sending pictures all the time. Well, that's kind of the thing. If you're on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you're on whatever you're on, it usually has a picture or a video of your face. So now you get to do 16 megapixels on the front, 1080p video, and you can take some pretty good shots between the portrait shots, the regular shots. I was impressed. I thought that it took pretty good selfie shots. You can see a couple of those here. And also the regular camera as well takes pretty good shots. The only thing with the regular camera is the autofocus is a little on the slow side. Like you can see it like it's thinking, not quite fast enough. And I think the limitation there has to do with the processor. When you're talking about 108 megapixels of data and then trying to capture that image, that's a lot of processing power going on there. So maybe next year, when we move up to a Dimensity chipset, hopefully with Blue, that's kind of the next frontier here. When you look at Blue, you look at where they've gone. We looked at the old MediaTek Helios and the P processors. The Dimensity is the future when it comes to MediaTek, and I made a video about that before. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe later this year or next year we see one of those. But the G95, totally good processor. It's good on power consumption. It's good on power. So you can play your games. You can get you through the day. They're advertising 3 days of battery life. You're going to be hard-pressed to get 3 days. You probably want to charge it before then. This is definitely one of those ones you're going to get more than 5, 6, 7 hours screen on time if you play your cards right, set it up, do your battery management stuff. It's a solid phone, tons of power under the hood for doing day-to-day stuff. And that's one of the things. You don't necessarily have to have a 3 gigahertz processor. You don't have to have a $1,000 phone. And that's one of the things I advocate for on my channel a lot. When you look at these phones, what you're getting now at a lower price is as good as the flagship stuff we had just a few years ago. So when you take a look at it, you look at what you get on paper: unlocked phone, dual SIM, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, 108 megapixel camera, 6.8 inch screen. Those are some serious numbers that you wouldn't expect to see at a price point like this. A couple other features when it comes to the phone: it does only have one speaker. So it doesn't have stereo speakers, but it does have one nice, loud, downward firing speaker. Recharges with USB-C, and you've got a headphone jack. So that way, if you want to use the earbuds that come in the box, you want to hook up some other headphones or wired earbuds you got, you can listen to your tunes, enjoy that experience, because this is something you get with the BLU phones. They still believe in the headphone jack and trying to give you as much stuff as possible that people enjoy. It's not like the flagships, and even a lot of the mid-tier phones nowadays, headphone jack is gone, SD card slot is gone, power brick is gone. You get all that here with the BLU G91 Max, fully covered, basically all the way around the phone. So that's one nicety as well. One other thing I'm not crazy about is it doesn't have IP68 dust and water resistance, or even IP67. That's one of the things. But with a $150, $250 phone, I don't really expect that. Honestly, it costs about $100 to get a phone certified IP68. That's rolled into the cost of the big boy phones, the big flagships. It costs $1,000. One reason why OnePlus never did it, even though their phones were very secure for water and dust protection. That extra money goes a long way. I mean, could you imagine paying $100 for an IP68 certification on a phone you're selling for $150? I don't think it adds that much value. What you're looking at here is the performance and the value for the $150, $250, not necessarily, well, is it waterproof, right? So be careful with it. Don't throw it in the pool. Not too overly worried about it, but it just doesn't have that rating. So not going to imply that it even is IP68 without the rating. I'm just saying there's no rating there. Just kind of one of the things you get with the budget phones. But overall, it's pretty much a total package everywhere else. $249 MSRP, comes in gray and blue. The blue one looks really nice. I really wish I could have got the blue one. The gray one, this nice kind of flat but still slightly reflective. You see it kind of has that little rainbow effect, like almost like the prism colors with the Samsung before, but a little bit more subtle, not quite as reflective. I like the way it looks, and it's not bad on fingerprints. So that's also a nice gesture. And of course, when you talk about nice gestures, it's everything else that's in the box. You get this nice rugged case, which is protective, comes in the box, looks good on the phone, protects your camera, protects your screen, all that good stuff. Plus, it comes in the box. You get the earphones, you get the screen protector, you get the power brick, you get the charging cable, you get the SIM ejector tool. You get everything you need. And that's one thing that I still love about BLU. When you look at their phones, you look at what they bring to the table, they sell you this $250 phone up front for $150 and then give you everything you need inside the box. So I like what they've done here. I like where they're going. And it's also got Android 11. So we should see Android 12 with this. That's going to come out later on. It's not there yet, but Android 11 straight out of the box. So you get Android 11 straight out of the box, and then on top of that, you get other cool things like wireless charging, reverse wireless charging. So now you can power up like your earbuds or something else. If your earbuds die, they got wireless charging. If you've got another phone or a buddy's phone that's on the fringe and ready to die, you can juice it up with a little bit of power because you got a 5,000 milliamp battery, which is pretty good. I mean, when you've got a 6.8 inch screen, you need a lot of battery to power it, and you get that with the 5,000 milliamp battery. And that goes a long way, especially for like playing games. You do a lot of social media stuff. If you're big into screen on time, big into social media, you're going to be using the phone a lot. And that means that you need power, and that 5,000 milliamp reservoir is going to get you through the day and probably into the next day if you don't sit there with the screen on for 14 hours a day. So they did a lot of good things there. And then to top it all off, the screen itself is probably the best screen they've ever had. It looks nice, it looks bright, the contrast, the saturation is good, and the biometrics are fully fleshed out too. You've got this new fingerprint sensor built into the power button, which I like. You can see it's pretty quick there. Turn off, turn on, turn off, turn on. Nice fingerprint sensor. And then you get facial recognition as well, if I didn't unlock it with my thumb. So check this out. There you go, nice and quick. We'll test it one more time just so we show it off. There you go. So you got everything. I mean, even the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro don't have facial unlock technology. So this is a complete package. Everything you need in the box, and the phone is going to perform well. The only thing that I really have like an asterisk next to it, it doesn't have 5G. And I really feel like we're pretty much at the point we have to have 5G now. That's probably difficult to do with the BLU business model because they try to give you everything for a really cheap price. I mean, how many people can go out there and make a phone that has all this stuff in it and sell it for an introductory price of $150 and a regular price of $250. 5G, I don't think is quite that cheap yet. And also the MediaTek processors before they got to the Dimensity just don't have 5G. So maybe that's something we'll get on the horizon. But as for right now, you get voice over LTE, you get regular LTE, you get 4G. It's fine as far as your upload speeds and your download speeds. It's unlocked for GSM networks. Throw your card in there and you're good to go. My only concern would be with AT&T because it's not a phone that's technically supported by their network, but that's the only concern I have. It'll work perfectly fine with T-Mobile, Metro by T-Mobile, and Mint Mobile. And historically, you could just pop an AT&T SIM card in there, but it doesn't quite work that way anymore, especially as they're going through this conversion to where they only allow voice over LTE compatible phones on their network that they support. Not just compatible, but also have to support it. Because a lot of the phones support voice over LTE, but that's like some of the other ones that have come out. If they didn't carry it on their network, then it's probably not going to work on their network much longer or moving forward once they finally shut that off. So when you look at what your options are available nowadays, it's kind of like T-Mobile, Metro, and Mint, and they're all the same network. But fortunately, it's a really good network, and it's mostly the cheapest network, and their coverage is better than ever. This is not a plug for them, just letting you know in the US how to use one. It is a US and global internationally unlocked phone. So if you want to go to England, you want to go to China, you want to go to Florida, you want to go to California, if you got a GSM unlocked network, you can toss a SIM card in there and it should work. So that's the limitations. Those are the only things I'm concerned about. That's one of the things you're going to have to look at moving into the future, network compatibility. But like I said, those three with T-Mobile guaranteed to work, no problem. And then the pricing is solid. It's introductory pricing though. So once they run out, then you're not going to be able to get it at that. It's going to bump up to $249. I would highly encourage you, if you want one, get one as soon as they launch, which is, well, now. So you can go down to the description. I've got a link there. You can click on that. That's an affiliate link. If you buy one through there, it gives a kickback to the channel and it helps support the channel that way. That's nice. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but of course you don't have to use it. You can go to Amazon and you can get it on your own. But overall, I like the device. I like what they've done. Really at the price point of $150, I mean, there's a lot of good things going on there, and I think you'll be happy with it. This is a phone that's going to last you at least 2 or 3 years, and that's something big to say for BLU. In the past, when you looked at phones like 2 or 3 years ago, you're like, okay, this is a kind of maybe a one and done phone, a burner phone, a throwdown phone, a cheap phone for my kids. Yeah, at $100, there wasn't a whole lot 3 or 4 years ago that really would go the distance. But now, launching with Android 11, you've got more of a commitment from BLU there. Definitely get an upgrade on the next Android operating system. $150. I mean, that's pretty darn good. It's an enjoyable phone. The haptic feedback is all right too. I forgot to talk about that. It's one of those things where if you don't have like a $700-800 phone, it doesn't have the amazing haptic feedback, but it doesn't detract from the experience, and it still makes for a nice typing experience. You get this nice flat screen, and it's beautiful. Like, this screen is really nice. I've been really impressed with it, and then you top that off with the 108 megapixel camera. That's pretty legit on a $150 phone. Even at $250, I think it's a good deal. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please head down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.